Thompson Estate is a Margaret River producer dedicated to making inspirational wine. Perth Heart specialist Peter Thompson has taken a meticulous approach to the venture. Early praise came with the 2001 Chardonnay, which snared the trophy for Best White Wine at the 2002 Margaret River Wine Show. Recent plantings of Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc, along with new clones of Chardonnay, will expand the range. Thompson Estate is one of the best of the new producers in the region.
Peter Thompson is the owner of Thompson Estate. Peter, another day in paradise here in Margaret River.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky, Ray. This is a beautiful spot and the vines are just maturing. It's the middle of spring and coming into summer, and it's just lovely.
Okay, another Perth medico comes to Margaret River. Why?
Well, it seems to be a pattern, Ray. When we were medical students at Royal Perth Hospital, Jack Mann used to have us up to the Swan Valley. When I graduated at Royal Perth Hospital, Tom Cullity was just starting Vas Felix in 1967, and you knew that if you were on Tom's ward, you were invited to come down to the vineyard to plant. And then when I was studying cardiology in Boston in the early 70s, my boss was one of the best cardiologists in the world. Among his patients was Baroness Rothschild of Mouton Rothschild.
So you got to try some of those Mouton Rothschilds?
Yeah, we'd have a cardiology training session on Saturday morning, and at lunchtime there was a mask tasting of red wine, and that tasted pretty good to me, that Mouton.
You didn't bring any with you?
No.
Oh, what a shame. Yeah. Okay, Peter, so why this part of Margaret River?
Well, I'd been aware of Willie Abrup from my contact with Bill Pannell, who started Moss Wood, and I'd worked in the Bustleton Health Survey with Kevin Cullen when he started Cullen's. The first contact or involvement we had with the Margaret River wine industry was Mike Peterkin at Piero. So I knew that we wanted to be in the Willie Abrup block because some of the iconic vineyards of Australia are here. The climate is perfect, the location is fantastic, and it makes great wine.
Of course, you've already won a number of awards, both locally here at Margaret River in the early days, nationally and internationally. That must give you a great sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, it tells us that we're on the right track. I mean, winning awards is not everything about wine. You have to have a quality focus and concentrate hard on, you're only as good as your last wine. So we're very pleased that Bob Cartwright has focused his attention on our vineyard, and the winery is performing well, so we're very pleased with the way it's all developing, right?
The Chardonnay in particular, you've got Bob Cartwright on board now, building on the successes of the previous years. Do you see that as part of a continuing refinement of Chardonnay in line with the Australian styles at the moment?
I think it's very clear that the blousy, overdone, over-oaked wines of the 80s and mid-90s have gone, and we're working towards a more refined, mineral style of Chardonnay, which is what we're after.
And of course your reds have been, I think, sometimes quite spectacular. You've got a Cabernet and you've got a Cabernet Merlot. Both of those I think have been quite exceptional. Obviously mature fruit just coming into its own.
Yes, I think the region and the fact that we've worked hard on the vineyard, and I think we've been very lucky with our location.
Bob Cartwright is the winemaker at Thompson Estate. Bob, tell us a little about the Locum range and the first of the wines we've got here, which is the Sauvignon Blanc Semillon.
Yeah, the Locum range is a new range for Thompson Estate. Basically what we're looking there is lighter, easier to drink wines at an earlier age in comparison to the other estate wines, which are more designed for development and aging. The Sauvignon Blanc Semillon is by and large a soft, easy, pleasant drinking wine for the summer. It has a little bit of barrel fermentation, which I think adds to the enhancement of the wine. The Semillon Sauvignon Blanc, because of the extra Semillon, is a bit fuller in weight and a bit more intensity of flavour, and it works very, very well with white meats and similar sorts of food.
And the Cabernet Merlot, Bob?
Yeah, well, the Cabernet Merlot is a softer, fruitier style of wine, has minimal oak, just a little bit of older oak in it, and also an earlier drinking style of wine that really goes well with summer meats, barbecues, etc.
Okay, at the top of the wazza at Thompson is the estate range, and the Thompson Estate Andrea Cabernet Merlot Reserve.
Yeah, well, the Thompson Estate Cabernet Reserve, the Andrea, is designed for length. It has got more robust flavours, has nice amount of new oak, and barrel aging is quite soft and elegant with a lot of finesse, and will definitely age for a few years.
And the judges seem to like that one because it's won a few awards, I think, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been very well accepted.
And the Cabernet Sauvignon.
I really love this style. The rich, bright, juicy fruit characters, the berry fruit characters that you get from this area. It handles oak very well, and also aging very well. And it's a wine that, you know, give it 10, 15 years and it's just going to be absolutely stunning.
And the Thompson Estate Chardonnay.
Well, the Chardonnay is, you know, very elegant, refined wine. It accepts the oak very well. It's all 100% barrel fermentation, basically all new oak.
Well, of course, you've got a pretty good track record with Chardonnay, so I wouldn't mind if we could perhaps pop over here and catch up with Peter and have a look at what you've got in barrel.
No worries, let's go and do it.
All right. Okay, Bob, let's have a look and see what you've got in there. G'day, Peter. We thought we'd have a look at your Chardonnay, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.